So here's the calibration scene through the viewfinder. Here we are. I'm raising the temperature because the water is cold and the plastic of the bottles is very thick. So I'm raising the temperature now, and then I'm going to bring it back to 20 degrees at least for the HC110 later on. So small bottles are HC110 in 1 to 100, then a stop bath and a fixer, and the big ones are the Diafine for part A and part B, so 2 bottles. I'm going to use good old TriX for that. So here's the spot meter result on the gray target. So here F4 and a third. Okay, and the speed is 1/15 for ISO 400. So here's what I do for the reference frame. At 0, put my fingers like so, 0. Then when I add 1 stop, like this, 2 stop, 3 stop, then 1 under, 2 under, 3 under. It allows me actually directly on the negative to know exactly where I'm at. I'm going to rewind. So now I'm going to have to cut the film in the middle as best as possible in the dark, in the changing bag actually, so that I can put the 2 different pieces in different developers. Here we go. So the results. So stand development here for 90 minutes in HC110. Here it's in Diafine. And we have an exposure index here of 400, 800, 1600, 3200, 6400. Not really useful, I think. We're going to see that in contact printing. Obviously, the densities, as expected, are a bit higher in the highlights in the stand dev. It's much more flat in Diafine. I think, so this is good, 800, 1600, seems not too bad, actually quite good. 6400, 3200, sorry, I think it's a bit light. And we're going to see that in contact printing again. So these are the results in contact print. These were printed with a grade 2 filter so that the film base is actually black, because something like that for me right now is totally useless. I'm just trying to show the differences in density. So this is for EI 400, 800, 1600, 3200, 6400, and as I said, 6400 is completely black. What I want to see here is whether we can differentiate the gray card from the surrounding black, so from the base black. And we can see here, because we know that at 1600 we can work actually on TriX. What is interesting for me is 3200, which is this one. So in stand dev here, Diafine here, we can see that there is a little differentiation between the base black and the gray card, whereas in 6400, I mean, it's completely gone. Anyways, so this is for that. So yes, I just forgot one point. As long basically as we can differentiate the gray card from the base black, then it means that we can work something out. The real question is, so 1600 and 3200. So the question is twofold really. First, how good it is, if we can exploit actually this information, and second, how easy it is. So we're going to see that. Okay, so this is a contact print on a grade 5, so with a grade 5 filter, and it was done for this frame, which is EI 3200 for the stand dev. We can see that the highlights are registered. They are a bit burnt, but I could have refined the print a bit. Anyway, this is just a test. Okay, so what can we see here? First, is it good? Well, it's not really good in the sense that the highlights, the high ends of the highlights are burnt. The shadows obviously are completely crushed. Regarding the mid-tones, well, I mean we can see something, but overall, is the quality good? Well, it's not really good. I mean, it's easy to do. I mean, we can print it on a grade 5. And preserving a bit the highlights, but we lose everything that is basically below the highlights, even in a stand dev. So this is easy to do, but quality-wise, it's far from ideal. Now this is another contact print, and this one was done for this frame, which is developed with Diafine, EI 3200. So basically, so how good it is? It's not too bad. It's printed on grade 5, but we can see that the base of the film is still not black. So we need to increase the contrast. However, the highlights are completely registered. They're nice. The midtones are registered also. Obviously, when we are going to increase the contrast, we cannot go above grade 5, but we can use a more contrasty developer. And obviously, we're going to crush a bit the midtones, but it seems that there's a more promising result here. How good it is? I mean, it's not too bad because the main problem is going to be maintaining the highlights. And in this regard, actually, the Diafine is really good. I mean, it's famous for that. How easy it is? It's not really easy because we need to fiddle with the developers, the paper developers. And in this regard, it's not going to be an easy task in the darkroom. However, the quality is going to be a bit better because we're going to have highlights that are properly registered, whereas in this example here with the stand dev, controlling the highlights is a bit more difficult, it seems. I mean, I could do a longer stand development, making sure that my agitation is even less frequent, but it seems that there is more room to work with the Diafine here than there is in stand dev. Apparently there is a guy who's mentioned that one could test 2 pass on Diafine. Maybe I'll try that. We'll see, because I've never tried the 2 pass on Diafine. And we will mostly increase the density of the film, which will make our task a bit easier. Anyways, these are the first results, and I'll come back to that.